what's going on, guys? So before I get started on Neal Maupay, I just want to give a huge shout out to Forest supporters for their victory over West Ham yesterday. Obviously rode their luck at times with the disallowed goal, saved penalty and crossbar coming to the rescue, but it's a remarkable result considering 8 of the starting 11 weren't even at the club last season, and they were up against a side who've been a bloody nightmare to play against these last couple of years. Any points picked up these first few weeks are a huge bonus until the squad begin to gel, and the atmosphere, fuck me, different gravy, mate. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it was the best I've seen in the Prem since Palace against Liverpool all the way back in 2014, during that iconic 3-3 draw at Selhurst Park. Although my own club, Man United, are rather shite, I was bouncing up and down in my living room during this game and can't wait to see how the rest of the season unfolds. Moving on to Neal Maupay. He's all set to sign on a permanent deal from Brighton Hove Albion. The package is reported to be worth 15 million quid, and he becomes the 16th arrival of the summer. You get a lot of people moaning, saying that Forest have got no chance with so many new faces and will be in big trouble if they end up going down. Well, boo bloody who, mate? Cry me a fucking river. Try imagining what happens if they stay up. They'll have a quality squad ready to go to the next level and challenge for a European spot within the next year or two. Ignore the negative Nancy's. This is exactly the kind of ambition you want to see from a side who've lost so many key players that were on loan last season. In regards to Maupay's background, he was tipped for the very top ever since he made his debut for Nice as a 16-year-old, way back in 2012 under former Southampton and Leicester City manager Claude Puel, who also happened to give a certain Eden Hazard an opportunity at the same age. He became a regular fixture in the 11 and was being linked with the biggest clubs around Europe up until he suffered a torn cruciate ligament injury, which caused him to miss much of the following season and eventually fall out of favour with the coaching staff. This resulted in a move to Saint Etienne, where he didn't particularly impress. With his confidence shot to bits, he was forced to take a step backwards and head out on loan to Ligue 2 outfit Brest, where he finally began finding his feet again and eventually sealed a transfer to Brentford via Brendan McFarlane, a scout at the West London club who also identified the likes of Saïd Benrahma and Brian Mbeumo. While much of his first season saw him utilised as a super sub, he well and truly burst into life during his second with 28 goals and 49 appearances, which saw him win Brentford Supporters' Player of the Year, Brentford Players' Player of the Year, and the prestigious EFL Player of the Year for the 2018-19 campaign. These performances got him his dream move to the Premier League with Brighton, where he's completely split opinion over 3 years both for his performances and behaviour on the pitch. I mean seriously, the bloke's like Marmite. He winds up opposition supporters with some top-tier shithousery and his own fans with erratic and dodgy finishing, but is revered by that very same Brighton crowd when he does find the back of the net. His post-match interviews can get spiky at times too, as he's had numerous digs at his own club's supporters after scoring by saying things like, "A week ago I was the worst striker in the league. Now all of a sudden I'm a hero." They shouldn't just look at the missed chances. They have to notice what else I've been bringing to the team. That being said, he's hardly a raging lunatic like some would have you believe. Conversely, he's extremely articulate and spends his time reading in the dressing room pre-kickoff while his teammates are blasting music and getting themselves fired up for the game. In addition, he has enough self-awareness to know when he's in the wrong, and you'll often find him criticizing aspects of his own game which need improving, such as discipline when it comes to picking up needless bookings. When it comes to Maupay's style of play, he's relatively small for a striker at 5'7", but is still capable of scoring with his head as well as both feet. Being of Argentinian descent, he's earned comparisons to Carlos Tevez, who also happened to be his idol growing up, due to his tireless running, movement and involvement in build-up play. While he's often ridiculed for his lack of end product, people are quick to forget that he's been Brighton's top scorer in each of his 3 seasons at the club and is currently tied with Glenn Murray for the most goals scored by an Albion player in Premier League history. While consistency remains an issue, he'll get you goals in clusters with several in back-to-back games, followed by a prolonged period without one, which is where having strength and depth will come in particularly handy. Tactically, he'll likely stay central to try and pin the opposition's back line, which in turn allows those out wide to tuck inside and play between the lines. When he does drop into midfield, he pulls the centre back towards him and leaves plenty of space in behind for his fellow forwards to exploit, leading to several goal-scoring opportunities which may not be immediately apparent to viewers. The manner in which Maupay uses his pace is a sight to behold as well, often ghosting in behind the centre-half's blind spot in order to be unmarked at the far post. Furthermore, he's extremely calm in tight spaces and is able to retain possession even when swarmed by multiple defenders. Off the ball, he's tasked with closing down central areas so that the other team are forced to play out wide or better yet, punted aimlessly out of play. Overall, this is yet another Forest signing to be hopeful about. Not necessarily for the numbers he'll put up, but the fact that him, Emmanuel Dennis, and Teo Awoniyi are completely different strikers from one another and will allow Cooper to use a horses for courses approach depending on the opposition as well as in-game situation. I was surprised to hear Maupay was being linked with a move to Salernitana in Italy, given they only just narrowly avoided relegation in the Serie A, and believe this switch is far more befitting for a player of his caliber. I don't expect him to start, but do think he'll make a big impact as the season wears on. Cheers for tuning in as always, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If that is the case, please do consider giving it a like, and subscribe if you're new for more football as well as Forest-related content. That's what, 5 Forest videos in a row now, and plenty more to come this week, given you're signing that lad from Lyon, as well as the kid from Bordeaux. So make sure to stay tuned for that and have a great week ahead. Peace.